Hey, good evening. Welcome. Friday Night Live. Kathy Beatty here with Divorce Support Anonymous. Thank you for joining me. And I'm thrilled that you're here. And I bet you came because you can relate to the title of this program. I'm tired and I feel like the weight of the world is on my shoulders. Friend, I remember that feeling so very well. It was suffocating sometimes because I felt all of the responsibility that I had that was on me just hurt. It just hurt, and I felt like I couldn't keep up, and I couldn't breathe, and I couldn't do it right. And that's one of our biggest fears, is that we're not doing it right. We want to do it right. So let's talk about it tonight. I do have to jump in first, give a couple of announcements. Of course, you can ask a question and send me a text. Got my number right there. Send me a text. Ask a question. We'll have conversation tonight. I would love that. March 18th, this week, 2021. If you're listening to this in the future, after the date, find it recorded, because this is going to be an opportunity for you to sit back, to absorb some good information, some good encouragement, some hope, some tools. March 18th, how not to screw up your kids going through divorce. I will never forget, as I was speaking to I was speaking at a conference, and a woman came up to me and she said, Kathy, I don't care about me. Just get my kids through this divorce. And my words to her are my words to you. What your kids need most is a healthy parent first. We've got to get you healthy. You've got to be intentional on dealing with all of your stuff to get healthy. So we're going to talk about, I have some fabulous experts. I am so thrilled, who are going to influence and impact you and give you practical, real tools. So I have posted the link on how to register. I will be posting the live link in which you can come into live stream. And I'll have some handouts. If you register, you'll get the handouts. So I highly recommend that you register for it. You can put in fake information in there. I don't care. I just want your email address so you can get the handouts, so you can be registered, so you can join us. 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Be there. Be there. You will not regret this time of coming together and working on and thinking about how we can best parent during going through divorce. So love the experts. You're going to get some great information. So next virtual group is going to start March 31st. Hope you'll join us. Would love to have you join us. We're going to do it virtually. We will have people from all over the country, perhaps all over the world, that will be joining us and working through and processing through the trauma of divorce. And then, of course, if you're in the Grand Rapids area, we are going to hold the in-person group April 20th at Keystone Community Church, Ada, Michigan, which is outside of Grand Rapids, Michigan, for those of you who might wonder, who are not nearby. So let's talk about being tired tonight, because I know you are. And this actually was inspired because I'm kind of tired. And it's no wonder, because this is the final stretch to put all of this together. There's a lot to it, a lot of moving parts, a lot of communication with the tech people who are fabulous at my church, I must say. And we're going to put it all together. We're going to present it for you, to love you, to support you, to give you hope, and to give you tools. So I'm tired. You're tired. I bet you're tired. What are you tired for? What are you tired about? Well, first of all, let's talk about it. You've got finances, for one. That's enough to tire us out, to wear us out, and feel like we're carrying the burden of the world on our shoulders. Our kids. We are tired because of our kids, not our kids themselves so much, because we love them and they are the most important thing in the world, even though moments we get so distracted and we forget. But we've got to think about their activities, their schedules. We've got to think about, are we feeding them correctly? Are they getting the nutrition that they need to grow strong, to grow healthy? Are they hanging out with the right friends? We are tired just thinking about hanging out with this child, and I don't know where this child's coming from. So it can be concerning and tiring. Worried about school. Do we have clean clothes? Where in the heck is that soccer uniform? All of those things are on us, and I don't want to rehearse it all for you, and I don't want to weigh you down by talking about it, but I just want to give you some of the examples of what's making you so tired, understandably so. So, insurance. Do I have enough insurance? What happens? I mean, all those zillion of details that we have to take care of as a single parent. Now, and becoming, not to mention the transition of becoming a single parent or becoming a single person if you don't have children, all of the energy of figuring it out and where we want to go and what we want to do. And then, of course, on top of all this, there's that communication, if necessary, with the former spouse that we have to be dealing with. Tired. I hear you, Amber. I hear you. Absolutely. I get it. I get it from where you're at. There's a lot going on. And then we have to fight with the ex-spouse. Hopefully you're not. You're at a place beyond that, but maybe it's just communication. And then, of course, a job. We've got to have a job. So we're working at that. And on top of all this, what really tires us the most is we're beating ourselves up for what we can't do right or what we think we can't do right. And again, one of the biggest weights that we carry is, am I doing it right? Am I doing this life right? Am I doing it right for me? Am I making the right decisions? Am I doing it right for my children who's going to be impacted by all of this? So now that I've exhausted you just by telling you the list, and yours has more, I'm sure, let me just take a moment with you to take a deep breath and tell you to give yourself a break. You're so hard on yourself. You're so hard on yourself. I know that you're tired. But what compounds it is when you are demanding so much of yourself right now. That is exhausting. Give yourself a break and say, you know what? I am doing the best that I can. Give yourself a break. Compassion. How many times have you heard me talk about this topic? Many times. And I will continue to, because we don't do it very well. We don't give ourselves compassion, and we need to. You're doing the best you can with what you have, the decisions you make, the information that you have. Give yourself a break. At the end of the day, saying, whoa, girlfriend. Whoa, dude. You survived the day. You got through the day. And that sometimes is the best we can hope for. When you're in the raw stages of divorce, that's the best you can hope for. And that is an accomplishment that you should give yourself a break for and a pat on the back. So let's talk about a few other things here that I want to give you some real practical tools, how you're going to get through. I remember one of my former bosses had this sign in his office that said, "Those who are flexible will not break." And I thought, well, it's really true, isn't it? If we are so stiff and hard, we're going to break. But if we can go more with the flow, accept things imperfectly, we can do better. We can do better. Let me give you one example, too, of something that happened to me just today. Need to start patting myself on the back more. Yes, you do, Amber. Yes, you do. You're going through a trauma. You are going through a trauma. You wouldn't expect someone who was part of any other trauma, a severe car accident or witnessing violence or something like that. You wouldn't expect them to jump back in the saddle instantly. You give them time. You give them some time. Give them some space to heal. And that's what you need to do for yourself, is give yourself some time, some space to heal. So how are we going to get through this? First, you've got to lower your expectations. We've talked about this before too, but I know some of you are still have those really high expectations. And interesting, I started to tell this story before I saw the comment too, something that happened today. So I had some people come to my door, and of course, I love these people, so I brought them into my house. Well, if you saw my house right now, it's a disaster. I had done laundry. I had all these blouses because I don't dry my busts all the way, so they're hanging all over, draped over bar stools. It was a mess. It was a mess. And I was so embarrassed. And what did I do? I shamed myself right away. It's like, good grief, girlfriend, clean up your space. And then they left, and I continued to kind of beat myself up like, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. The way things are so in disarrangement right now. And then I took a step back and I said, whoa, wait a minute. Wait just a minute. I have been very focused for the past month and a half, maybe, bringing some material to you that is going to make a difference in your life. Critical information on how you can be a good mom and a good dad. So I, instead of instantly going into that shame and beating myself up, backed up a bit and said, whoa, you are putting together something that is going to impact and change lives. So you know what? It's okay that the house is a mess right now because you are so stinking focused on putting this together. Lower your expectations. Again, you're going through a trauma or you're transitioning into learning a new normal. Don't expect perfection of yourself. I don't have kids, but I have the other issues. Yeah, I'm homeschooling 3 boys and working from home all alone. Whoa. And the guilt that follows. Yes. Why do we do that? Why do we do that to ourselves? And you are growing. What you're doing right now with those homeschooling, those boys, you are literally impacting the world. It may be your greatest contribution. And yet you're going to beat yourself up because they have macaroni and cheese out of a box for dinner? No, you celebrate the fact you had macaroni and cheese for dinner and stop beating yourself up. Give yourself that break, that necessary break. Oh, I could talk about this forever. Don't apologize for anything. Patty, you're right. Don't, unless, of course, you've offended someone and you've hurt someone. Yes, but you are in this huge what do you want to call it, a petri dish, like I am right now. This is a huge risk, an experiment of putting this all together and seeing if it all works and asking God, please, please bless us. And I know He's going to. I have all the faith for that. So stop the excuses. Stop apologizing. It's not perfect. And here's another thought. What are your kids going to remember? What are you going to remember 5 years from now? I asked this question at group. What are you going to remember 5 years from now when you look back at this period of time? What's going to be important, what really matters, and how you handled it and how you survived it. You'll look back and say, whoa, I was amazing in what I survived. And indeed, you were, and you are. Don't forget you're going through a trauma. Lower your expectations. What can you control? Here's another one of my lines I love to use. Because we are worried, we're fretting, we're using all of our energy on those things that we can't control. Like how the other spouse acts. You can't control that. You are going to regain some sanity if you ask yourself the question, what can I control here? Simple question. Write it out if you need to. What can I control? I can't control his mouth. I can't control her mouth. I can't control things that are going on in their life and in their house. I can't. So why am I using all the energy for it? Why? You don't have the energy for it. You simply don't. So what can I control? Huge, huge help to bring you back to sanity. Ask yourself that question. And then we're going to focus on what am I doing right, which I think I've mentioned or alluded to tonight. What am I doing right? What am I doing right? We had macaroni and cheese for dinner. But you know what? I looked into my children's eyes. I told them that I love them. Or you know what? While I was eating my macaroni and cheese, because that's all I could really afford right now, I was designing, drawing out my dreams and my goals for my life. Or I'm listening to a healthy podcast. I'm doing those things that I can move forward and create a life. Focus on what you're doing right, because I'm sure you're doing a lot right. And it's so interesting how we can so easily fall back and the blame and shame and focus on what we're doing wrong. Here's another. Walk a little more by faith than by sight. Because no matter how hard you try, you can't see the future. And you may be tired simply from trying to project yourself into the future and figure it all out. God gives us a day at a time, doesn't give us any more, doesn't give us any less. So maybe I need to start trusting more than just myself. And maybe that world that I feel on my shoulders, it's so heavy and making me so tired, is not mine to carry at all. Maybe that's more God's business. Maybe there are some things in your life that you need to let go of and let God do something with. The scriptures say, in the words of Jesus, my burden is light. And you think, what does that mean? And Jesus was actually addressing those people who were so busy following laws. His burden is light. That means it doesn't have to be on you. And that means that you can give it to him. And what he has for you is lighter than what you're carrying right now. Does that make sense? I felt like I was walking in a circle here with that verse. But his burden is light. That means he's not putting demands and blame and shame upon you. Maybe correction. Maybe trying to align you more with himself, with what's best for you. But he's good. And his burden is light. It's not heavy. He also said, in this world, you're going to have trouble. But take heart. I've overcome the world. It looks so hard right now and so heavy. But we walk more by faith when we think, you know what? Jesus overcame the world. So I'm going to start putting more trust in him, who he is, what he has for me. I always love to ask the question in group, what if God wants more for you than you do? Ponder that question a minute. I believe he does. I believe that he does. He also said, ask me. Ask me. Ask and you'll receive, that your joy will be complete. John 16 tells us. By the way, John 16 is a really cool chapter to read. It's not very long. So just a thought. Pull out scriptures, pull out the phone, look it up. And then he says, keep on asking and you'll receive what you ask for. Keep on seeking, keep on knocking, and the door will be open to you. I don't know what that is for you. Quite frankly, I don't know what that is for me. But I know that faith in God through Christ has never disappointed me yet. Now, faith in other people has, but not faith in God through Christ. And I accepted him back when I was 19. And I'm now quite a few decades beyond 19. And he's not disappointed me. In fact, in my single life of the past 23 years now, he has given me more delights and surprises than I ever thought possible. So ask him. Ask him. What do you need right now? What is that burden that is so heavy on your heart and your mind? And how can you take that in a simple prayer and ask him? Yes, it's so heavy sometimes, alone, and more alone in this pandemic. I totally agree, Amber. That's another reason why we ask God to draw near to us. Ask him, God, I'm lonely. God, I'm tired. God, I need a break. I need direction. I need hope. Whatever it is that you need, lay it out there, speak it out there, ask, seek. I get frustrated with my limitations. That's another. Don't we though? I mean, seriously, don't we? Yeah, I wish I could do it all. I wish I had a spotless house right now and I could still put together all the things that I'm putting together. Doesn't seem to work that way. Doesn't seem to work that way. It's okay that you have limitations. You're human. Can't do everything, can't do it all. Just look at what's really going to matter now. Is it going to matter that my house is not spotless? Is it going to matter that I don't have it all together? That I don't know what I'm doing? I'm rambling. But I appreciate those of you who are with me tonight and having conversation. It has always been my dream and prayer to have feedback, to hear what's on your heart, what's going on with you. So thank you. Thank you for that gift of your presence and that gift of the conversation. And I know you're tired. I know you're tired. Give yourself a break. The world is not on your shoulders. It feels like it, but it's not. Take care of you so you can become the best you. And you can become the best you for your kids if you have them. March 18th, I'll see you there. I hope you're registered. There's no cost. There's no cost. And I'm excited of what's going to happen there. So I hope you'll join us and have a good night. Take care.